We have a lot to talk about. We can talk about cars. We can talk about shoes. We can talk about the markets.
Can we talk about everything?
We can talk about all of it.
Let's talk about all of it.
With the big clocks around here, we'll just keep tabs on the time.
It's sort of how we roll here. We just sort of watch the clock and talk about whatever comes to mind. Now, did you hear the story about the EV muscle car?
I did.
Okay. What sound would you make your car make? Would you want that like grizzle purr sound, or would you choose something else that would just catch people off guard?
Yeah, if I'm buying a Dodge Charger, being born and raised here, I want that sound.
I know.
I want, oh geez, here comes a Dodge Charger. That's the sound I'm after. As you come around the corner, I want someone to sort of pause and look back and think, that's a big car. That's what I'd be after.
What if you could personalize it? It's like, David Boyd!
They just have a set sound, right? Like the sounds. Mike's laughing behind me.
He just crippled over.
Yeah, he's laughing. But at the end of it, I just think you want that sound. Like all these big cars have their unique sound, and I hope they can do something like that. Maybe put a chip in there to make that sound, but that's part of the essence of it.
I'm so sad they didn't send the sound out. Actually, one of the listeners who was listening to that segment sent in a link where you can go and take your car and get it personalized and get a personal sound added. So, David Boyd. Because you're always like, who was that? You don't need to ask who was that.
Oh, I don't want them to know who I am. I just want the beautiful sound as it goes by of the big engine. That'd be what I'd be after.
No, I think, I know. I think that you can't have it and just have it. I don't know.
No. The answer is just no to that question. I think it just has to be loud and nasty when it comes down the street. That's what Charger is in my mind. He's still laughing behind me, isn't he?
He wants to know about Foot Locker.
Okay.
Do we want to start there?
Let's go to Foot Locker.
Okay. What's happening with Foot Locker right now?
So I'll give that, and then I'm going to ask you the question. So Foot Locker's down 10% this morning. They reported holiday sales that were negative, so their earnings were negative on that front. Their outlook for 2024 was very light that they gave. So they have a lot of concern. They brought in the Ulta CEO to help turn things around. A lot of their issues are inventory in stores, sizing's not proper. So a lot of stuff that hopefully can be fixed. The stock's pretty volatile, but down 10% this morning. So that's the business part. I'm going to ask you, when you grew up on the farm,
yes,
what type of shoe did you really like?
This is ridiculous.
And could you tell Mike and I and listeners about it?
When you, because you haven't heard it yet, you came in and I looked at your list of what you wanted to talk about today, and you said Foot Locker. And whenever I think of Foot Locker, I think of Lynx running shoes, because I always wanted the Lynx running shoe. And recently I've been sharing the story with my husband, and I can't find them online. So I don't think they exist anymore. But all I wanted was to go to Foot Locker, get the Lynx shoes, because on the bottom it spelt out Lynx in teal blue, really big. So on the farm, when it was muddy, I could put my foot in the puddle and then stick it out, and it would spell Lynx. And I thought that was just the coolest thing.
And you're thinking, why won't my parents buy me new shoes so I can take them out in the mud and splash around?
They're like, you don't like Nike, I was like, no, I want Lynx. I need to find these Lynx. But I don't think I ever shared with them until now the story about why I wanted Lynx. And it was really just because
And in this, it sounds like your husband's looking at you thinking, Amy, you're sure these shoes existed? Yeah. Like, are you sure? Because we went on the internet machine and we can't find them.
It's not on the internet. So did it exist?
Exactly.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Any other companies you're watching?
A couple of things. We have Bank of Canada today
at
9:45. So what we're going to hear there is what they're doing with interest rates. Consensus on the street is a whole bunch of nothing. So those that have variable mortgages, lines of credit, they'll be watching this very closely. Inflation's dropped down into the range Bank of Canada is comfortable, but right now they're taking a bit of a wait-and-see approach, it sounds like. And on the U.S. side, at 10 o'clock, Chair Powell is going to be speaking to Congress. So strategists will be watching that very closely as well to see if there's any clues about if and when they start to cut interest rates.
And what about the markets today?
Up today. So they were down yesterday, a bit of a sell-off yesterday. And as I sent in my note to you, just normal stuff.
Just normal stuff.
How's
Lynx doing? Apparently not well.
I'll check the machines when I get back to BMO, but I don't think it's going to be there. So
if anyone listening knows exactly what I'm saying, can you save me from this?
Please help the host out at 97.5 FM and send it through.
Send it through. Send me a pair. Anyways, thanks so much for coming in this morning, David.
Thanks, Amy. Great to see you.
You too, as always.